we have downloaded and installed our VirtualBox, and we have downloaded our iOS image for Fedora OS. Now, let's initiate the VMs. So VM is a virtual machine that is been provided to run our own environment for different operating system. It's a virtual environment that will be provided to run different types of OS in the VirtualBox. So let's create one. We will go to the new option, and here we'll provide the name of the virtual machine. So let's say VM Fedora 1. And next we will be providing the power where our snapshots and images will be saved for our VM. And then here is the option to provide the ISO image. Here currently I am not selecting the ISO image as I want to demonstrate how we can load the ISO image via optical disk. So keeping this as a blank, otherwise we can provide the path where our ISO image has been provided and we can select that. After that, we will be providing the which type of iOS we are selecting. Here I am selecting Linux, and Linux under we have different type of OS under the Linux part, but currently we are opting for the Fedora. So we will select that and we'll select the version, the architecture. After that, we have second option that is unattended install. So this is based on the OS that we are using, but currently for our OS we don't have this option to configure. But for Windows, for Mac, we have to configure because we have to provide some license and some username password for the OS. So next option we have the hardware. This is the main part where we have to provide the configuration. First is the base memory. So on our human language, we call it RAM. So we will be providing 2 GB. So 2048 MB is equal to 2 GB. And after that, we will be selecting the processor. Here we have option from 1 to 16 CPUs, but for our OS, we will be selecting 2 CPUs. Further, we have hard disk, and here is it is the virtual hard disk that will be used by the VM. And for storing the OS also, we will be using this hard disk. And the minimum requirement for the Fedora is 15 GB. So we will be providing additional 20 GB for our Fedora for other software and other files. Okay, let's click on the finish. Okay, now our OS has been created, and these are the configuration that is there for us. So at the left hand side, we can see other VMs are also there, but this is the one we have created, and we can set up and we can see how the settings can be set up for this VM. So we will have two options to right click on this VM and we go to over the settings, or we can directly click on the settings bar for the one that has been selected. So we will do that. So this is a dialog box that has come for the setting for that VM that we have created. The first one, the mode where that we have is basic and expert, and we will be going to the expert to have a more better view detail for the configuration. The first general part provide more insight about how the VM has been provided, how VM name has been defined and named. After that, we have system. The attachment of different interfaces has been provided here regarding the system. So it is related to motherboard, processor, and what type of acceleration we will be providing. Why virtualization that also we can handle. We have different virtualization processor we have given. Now I don't want to have floppy because floppy has not been very friendly nowadays because it has been removed from our system. So we will be unselecting that, and we will be having optical and hard disk. Hard disk that we have defined, optical is the one that we will be mounting our ISO image for the Fedora. Okay, now select, we have few more settings that I'm selecting as per my feasibility. And after that, we will be coming around the storage part. Inside the storage, as I have mentioned, we have two interface. One is the hard disk that we have predefined with 20 GB that will be storing our OS, and the other one is the virtual optical drive. Here we will be mounting our ISO image for the Fedora. See, we will select that, we'll mount that, and we will load the Fedora ISO image. After that, we will go to our network part. Here in our network part, we can add up to 4 networks, and for each network we can define different type of attachment to that network adapter. So here currently I by default has been set up as a NAT, but we have different option. So to know about these details, we can directly go to the website of the VirtualBox and we can get the information about the NAT. All these options will be available and you can choose which is feasible for you, for your working environment and for your purpose. After that, we'll saving our virtual machine settings and we will initiate the VM. So we have two options: to right click on the virtual machine and we can start, or otherwise we can start from here. So you can see the progress at the right hand side. A pop-up has been provided where it will provide how our virtual machine has been provided. So we'll maximize it and we will do some of the settings, and let's maximize the video size. Okay, so now we can see that we have three options. So the first one is the one that is being loaded to our optical disk, and the second option is to test that media and to start the optical disk so that our Fedora OS can be loaded. And the third, if you are facing any problem, so you can troubleshoot with this option. So we will go with the first option and we'll start our. Okay, the OS has been loaded. So a pop-up screen will come up. Now we have to install our Fedora from our optical disk to our hard disk. So here we will proceed with the installation. Okay, now the installation page has been enabled, and here we have to select the language. So as per our feasibility, we will be choosing our language by default. We'll go with English and English US. With that, we will continue. And now we have three options. First one, to select the keyboard type. The second, where our OS will be installed. And third is the time. So by default, keyboard and the time will be there. So I won't be touching those part, but I will go and check for the hard disk. So here I want to install the OS into the hard disk that has been provided. So that I will select. It has been already selected. So I'll check for that. And if you want to add to any other specialized or network disk, so you can mount it over that part. So other than that, if you want to have other configuration for the storage, you can select custom, advanced custom. And after that, you can, if you want to encrypt your data, you can check this box to encrypt your data for the OS. Now we'll select the done part and yeah, we'll begin the installation. Now our installation has been completed. So we will finish up the installation and we will restart our system. Okay, our okay, so our Fedora has been installed. So once again, a pop-up will be there to install the Fedora because our optical drive is still mounted with the ISO image of Fedora. So for that, what we will do, we will cancel this installation. We will shut down the machine by just powering off the VM, and the VM will be powered off. Here you can see the state. So every time whatever the state is there, a state will be presented in this section for the VM that you have selected or that the VM you want to see. So we'll just unmount by going to the settings. We'll go to the expert mode. We'll go to the storage and we'll select the optical drive, and we will remove the disk from the virtual optical drive that is there. So we will be removing our OS so that it won't get loaded up again and again. So that's it. So this is the installation of Fedora in our VM1. Thank you.